Thank you for that. Whoever did that, the Zoom master. Okay, but not only do we have lots of new faces that are joining us, but we are in a powerful season of growth and alignment as LifeVantage is partnering with Love Biome, right? So this is big. This is a big deal. Just the other day, I was comparing it to the movie Lion King when Mufasa takes his child and he's on top of the mountain and he raises him up. I feel like this is LifeVantage right now. This is our time, and this is everything that LifeVantage deserves, and it's everything you deserve. And what's happening right now, it isn't just about the new products, right? This is about new possibilities for each and every one of us. So earlier this year, just over 20 executive leaders from LifeVantage, we were chosen to go to corporate for a weekend to participate in a League of Leaders training. And this training was centralized around the Stephen Covey book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, you can see, or you would have seen on the slide, who was a part of that, some of the leaders that were a part of that, and the many years that they had been dedicated to Advantage. I believe on average, it was maybe 10 to 12 years on average, the leaders
Hey,
that went.
Tanya, we're not seeing a screen. Just wanted to let you know.
You're not.
We're
Okay.
not seeing, yeah,
Are you seeing me at all?
your slide deck. Yeah.
Yes, I
The
know.
slides aren't working tonight, Sarah.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. I'm so sorry. I thought you were, apologies. Take it away.
I had one, thanks, Sarah, but it's not working for me. So we're just kind of pivoting.
A
So,
lot of people need to mute too.
yes. So, okay. So, a lot of the League of Leaders that went into corporate earlier this year. Oh, somebody's sharing their screen. Okay. Let's just keep it as is. Okay. Hello. Anybody can do this, right? Okay, so there were a lot of leaders, executive leaders that were flown into corporate earlier this year, and corporate called it the League of Leaders, and they were investing in us through a system called the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, teaching us things about just how to better ourselves and grow as leaders. And that weekend and what we learned, it was so phenomenal that our hearts were to take the information and to bring it to our teams. And when we launched this League of Leaders series, the intent was to grow people, not just teams. And we wanted to pour into the mindset habits, leadership skills, and really help you make your success sustainable. And that's why we've been walking through the 7 habits the past few Sundays. Now, because these principles, because they're timeless, they're transformational, and they apply perfectly to who we're becoming as a company. So we wanted to expand our reach tonight, and we wanted to focus on this new partnership. I have goosebumps all over my body, and this big week ahead. So just real quickly, over the past several weeks, we've walked through some really powerful principles. We've talked about being proactive. That's habit 1. And that's about taking ownership of your business and leading your life instead of reacting to it, right? Now more than ever, we cannot sit back and react. We have to be proactive. Habit 2 was beginning with the end in mind, and that is building vision and building clarity. And we're going to give you that tonight when you hear from Kelly and Steve. And then habit 3 was putting first things first. It's staying focused on what truly moves your mission forward. And habit 4 was think win-win, think win-win. And that is building partnerships and teams where everyone rises. And that is the season we're in. And tonight we were set to talk about habit 5, seek first to understand and then to be understood, which is so perfect because what's really happening right now in our company is a real life example of that. This is new partnership between LifeVantage and Love Biome with the understanding of 2 companies listening to one another's missions, aligning our values, and realizing how much stronger we can be together. And our guest tonight, she embodies that fully with that same spirit. She's not only a respected leader in Love Biome, a leader among leaders, but she's also was featured in the Stephen Covey 7 Habits about network marketing. And her habit was think win-win. And that's what we rested on last week. So it's so perfectly poised to have her on this evening. So as you listen tonight, whether you're brand new or you're a seasoned leader with LifeVantage or with Love Biome, we just really want you to lean in tonight. And we want you to ask yourself, truly, what could this season make possible for me, my family, and my business? Because what's happening right now is truly historic. So this is what Think Win-Win looks like in action, you guys. It's collaboration, it's belief, and it is momentum. So I am so grateful and honored and excited to bring to you tonight the Love Biome leader, Valencia Pamphile. She is going to lead us off tonight, and I just wanted you to hear her passion, her story of why she chose network marketing and what network marketing has done for her life, why she chose Love Biome, and her story with P84 as well, and how she feels about the future. So, Valencia, are you out there? Can you unmute yourself and come to the table, my friend?
I am here, Tanya. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am outstanding. And let me say good evening to all of my brand new friends, as well as those of you who are already a part of Love Biome. I absolutely love the welcome that we feel from LifeVantage. I have to tell you guys, I have been part of merges before, and it felt nothing like this. I really feel like we've been estranged sisters and brothers because one of how we are interacting with each other, but also the message that we have. So good evening. Hello to all my brand new friends. And I have to give it back to Tanya for inviting me to this call. I'm just going to take a little bit of time. I'll share a little bit about me, how I got involved in network marketing. I am from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised in Brooklyn. And when I started my professional career, I started in the banking industry, and I absolutely loved what I did. I worked on Wall Street. In fact, I worked at the World Trade Center. So I worked at 7 World Trade Center. But in either case, I thought I would have retired from corporate banking. I worked in mergers and acquisitions, and everything was going great. And then I worked for JP Morgan. JP Morgan came to our division and said, listen, we're moving operations from New York City down to the banking capital of the US to Delaware. And I thought, I had never thought of leaving New York City, but I was part of the relocation. So I had the opportunity to go down to Delaware, see the real estate. I had a home built. And when I tell you, I felt like my whole life had transformed. Still working for JP Morgan, but I was thrilled. I tell people this all the time. When you live in Brooklyn and then you move to a place like Delaware, I was thrilled to have grass growing around me. In fact, the most exciting part of that was when I went to Home Depot and bought a lawnmower. I was just blown away that I could finally have a yard and what have you. But the story wasn't all peaches and cream. So we settled in our home in Delaware. My husband and I worked for the same company, which in some cases was a mistake, but I met him at JP Morgan. The problem is about anywhere from 6 weeks to 8 weeks later, JP Morgan sold the division of the company that I worked for. So they sold their mergers and acquisitions, their stock department, back to a company in New York City. So that meant that I had to commute to work. And I want you all to feel my pain when I share this with you. I commuted 3 hours every single day to get to work and 3 hours every single day to come back home. And I worked 8 to 10 hours every single day. So I had no life. You can calculate that. That's 16 hours of my life was just getting to and from work. And my husband and I did it together for the first year. He drove back and forth. And, I kind of slept in the back seat. But then he decided he was going to quit. And he found a job in Delaware. But the lifestyle that we had created for ourselves and set up for ourselves in Delaware was based on a New York City income. And I wasn't about to give up that lifestyle. So I kept commuting via Amtrak for 4 years. Now, I didn't realize the toll it was taking on me and my family, but eventually I knew something had to give. And I'm so grateful today that a relative of mine exposed me to this industry. In fact, he's on the line. Mr. Gene Flynn called me up and said, Valencia, I found a way you can get free. So for me, my entry into the network marketing industry was all about replacing income. but I also had to feel it in my heart. Um, my initial company, I got involved. It took me about, a year or two to kind of get my footing. But then it started to really excite me. The income was coming. I was involved in telecom, and I loved what I did because I was helping people. I don't know the age of everybody on the line, but I don't know how many of you remember when we had to pay for calls long distance. So I had the privilege of sharing with people during that deregulation that you can save money on your telephone bill. And it went extremely well. And then obviously I didn't just leave the company because of any internal conflict or what have you. The industry just shifted. There was no more long distance. And that's when I got involved in health and wellness. I knew very little about health and wellness, but the things I was learning just made sense to me. I got involved with a company that Kelly Olsen was the CEO of. And I fell in love with the way they did business. One day I'll have to share with you guys that story. But I was involved with Tahitian Noni International. And I entered Tahitian Noni International 10 years after the company started. And there's a lot of people in network marketing who will tell you, oh, the company has been around for a long time, you can never make any money. That was not my case. I went in, I understood the compensation plan, and we started building. We had extreme success, not a little bit of success. We made millions in Tahitian Noni. And then some things happened, another merger, and Kelly Olsen was no longer part of the company. But I cared so much about the way he did business, his integrity. He was a person who, if he said he was going to do it, he did it. Everything he put in place made the company better. So I stayed in touch. And I said, Kelly, I know you're going to do something else. And he's, probably was under an NDA. He couldn't do anything for a while. But eventually I got that phone call that said, Valencia, we're getting ready to do something. At that point in time, I was like, whatever you're doing, I want to do it. And I was the first distributor in Love Biome. So 100%, it had everything to do with who they were. Knowing that you're in business with the right people. I'm sure you guys feel the same way about Steve Fife. If I could tell you, how do I know this is going to work? Because you have Steve Fife, who I've had the opportunity to sit and talk with. You have Kelly Olsen, and the way they think is so synergistic. And when you have real people who not only are in business, now you get involved in business, obviously, to make a profit, but they have the hearts of people like you and I in mind too. So I was just excited. Then I started to learn the power of the gut microbiome. Now, for you all, you feel that strength in Protandim. And I have to tell you, I've recently started using Protandim. I saw the ABC News special and it was on and popping. Again, there's just such a synergy. But when it came to getting involved, getting really serious with the gut microbiome issues, everything I learned was so easily validated and documented. In fact, when I do a presentation, I tell people, whatever you're dealing with, whatever someone you loved is dealt with, whatever perhaps someone you love passed away from, just Google it, chat GPT it, whatever you want to do. Take that particular diagnosis, add the words and gut microbiome, and you will find documented, validated information that shows the connection. In fact, I tell people this is not subject to debate or opinion. If people come and say, well, I don't believe that, it doesn't matter. This dates back 3,000 years ago when Hippocrates said all disease starts in the gut. So when it comes to the synergy of what we have here, the message from you all, and I love it, is we take it to make it. We could take that exact statement and put it right there with the gut microbiome, because what we're doing, we're feeding it so that it makes what it needs for the human body to work the way it should. And so I just feel, and again, I know people will think we're biased, but I don't think there's another company that can compare in documentation, validation, clinical trials. All of the things are in the proper place at the right time for all of us to create that big vision and to know what is about to happen. It really hasn't even started yet. It's going to start, well, a little bit, it's going to start October 15th, but November 1st, it's off to the races. And when Tanya talked about being profiled in Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective Network Marketing Professionals, I was profiled for the win-win scenario. In business, a lot of times it's, if I win, you lose. But I went to a personal development training, and the truth is, if we all think win-win, everybody can win. This is not a sports team where I win. Like right now, I think the Lions are playing the Chiefs. One's going to win, one's going to lose. But in business, we can all win. One of my favorite quotes is rising tides float all boats. And as you watch this right now, and it doesn't matter where you are, SC1, managing consultant, or executive, it doesn't matter. As the tide rises, we're all in a position where we rise with it. And so it has to feel good to be in this space and time. Tanya, I have to tell you, I did my first presentation where I incorporated Pro Tandem tonight. And I didn't feel out of place. The message just went together. I got so many text messages. Everyone on the team recognizes they can do both. There's a book, I think it's called, oh my goodness, by T. Harv Eker. And he talks about it's not either or, it's both. You know, people say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, what good is cake if you can't eat it? We're at a place now where we can do both. And so those tides are going to rise in a way that I think not just from the heart connection we have for people, but also from the financial side. And we all approach business differently. I originally started because I wanted to create income. And then I fell into this heart place where every time I talk to somebody, lives are being changed. And my own life has been changed from, I call it weight release, not loss, because when you lose something, you go out and look for it. But I've released weight and it feels good. But to my family has been, I don't even know how to say, they've been ravished by diabetes generationally, from dialysis to blindness to neuropathy to amputations to, I've had first cousins in their 30s lose their lives to diabetes. And then when I started to understand how taking care of your health, it's not just the medical protocol, I developed a passion for sharing it with my family first and then everyone I know. And so now I have the privilege of being in business with my family. I'm watching people in my family's health improve. I don't have the sugar cravings that I used to have. I was a sugar addict. I still love sugar, but I don't crave it the way I used to. All from taking care of my gut microbiome. And I could give you story after story after story. The same way individuals who do Pro Tandem, I learned tonight that you can take all 3. I didn't know that. So we're still in that learning phase, but I am excited beyond compare. In business, they say it's timing. In real estate, they say it's location. We're in the right place at the right time. And that's not from a cliche standpoint. The world needs what we have. I look at all the technological advances out there today. Everything is on the computer and all of that, and health is declining dramatically. So we are here for a reason. We have documented, proven information. And all I can say to everybody is lace up your running shoes and let's get going. The time for waiting to see what's going to happen, it's over. It's happened. They signed the papers. Now's the time to say, who can I help? Who needs to hear it? And let's create an environment where people, the magnetism, first of all, you guys all have magnetism. I feel drawn to I cannot wait for Dallas. But the magnetism to the individuals who are sitting out there saying, I'm not sure, they're going to be drawn to us because of our energy and our message and our success. So I probably went too long, Tanya, but I am just thrilled to pieces for each and every one of us for what we're about to create. So thank you so much for allowing me to just say hello to everybody.
Thank you for saying yes. And I don't know what else to say. Like, that was all so magical, Valencia. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your belief. Thank you for sharing your belief in the industry as well, because I love what you said about Kelly Olsen and how you followed him and basically like stayed connected. That speaks volumes to who he is as a leader as well. And I want you all to know that this past week, there was a select group of us that got to be a part of what was called the Captain's Club. And in the Captain's Club, we got to hear from our CEOs. And every time this happens to me, like if I'm in an FAB meeting or an executive call and one of our corporate staff comes on, you always think, oh, if only the field could hear this. So we got permission to do that for you tonight, and we want to play back for you. Thursday, it was the last day of the Captain's Club Zoom, and Kelly Olsen and Steve Fife spoke. And if ever there were two CEOs that are going to cast vision and build your belief and really help you get your feet under you to create a why in what you want to do with this opportunity in the next 3 to 6 months, this is going to be it. And remembering also tomorrow night for the training camp leading into that. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is going to work. And we are going to have you share with them, listen to what they shared with us last week.
Training this week. Honestly, I love listening to Jake. Jake is an amazing guy, and listening to Kristen and Julie and Lisa fill our minds and hearts with belief and I don't know, to me and then the comments today, and actually all during the week in the breakout sessions and so forth, I've commented to Sean all along, Sean Whitney. I feel like I've come home. I feel like we're part of this family already. We're the kind of the new kids on the block, but I feel so welcome and so at home and so at ease with you. I love what we're doing. And Andrea today really hit me when she said that LifeVantage should be the it company. Honestly, I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't want to be part of a company that's not the it company. And I look at you, I look at the potential, I look at our corporate executives and team, the every aspect, products, compensation plan, rewards. There is no reason why this should not be not only the it company, but the company that every single person is chasing. And again, I think we all have probably a little bit of a competitive streak in us. I love it when people chase. I love to be the one that people chase. I hate to be the one who is doing the chasing. And I honestly, when I see this, again, I have fresh eyes in this. And so I don't know everything, but I'm learning a little bit every day. There's no reason why we should not be in that position where everyone is trying to figure out what are they doing and how can we catch up. And the pieces are in place, honestly, where that can take place. I was thinking a lot about, just real briefly, you guys, because honestly, I don't know what I can add. I've been thinking a lot lately, actually, since this merger, since this partnership came together, I've been thinking about how energy is created. And there's two kinds of energy: potential energy and kinetic energy. And if you could imagine the image of a sprinter in the blocks, ready to begin his race. Get that image in your mind. Muscles tense, and think of the hours and hours of training to get his body, mind, heart, everything ready for this race. And it's all there in the blocks waiting for the gun to go off. That is the image of potential energy. In order for that energy to be, that potential energy to reach its potential, or to be worthwhile, it has to be converted to kinetic energy, which means he actually has to run. Now think about, we have been fed with education, motivation, mindset, belief, confidence, all of this creates this amazing potential energy. We have now, what we do in our business, in our channel, in our industry, is we take that potential energy and we convert it into kinetic energy. I heard Brian talk about creating conversations, and Tori talk about the in-person, how important that is. Just taking the training and the feeling that we have today, that feeling we have today, and converting it into kinetic energy that will create conversations, that will create the success and the changing of lives. And that's kind of what that's the process that we're in. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple, actually. What we need to do is we need to give people an experience with Healthy Edge, and we need to get people a check. And we do those two things and we've got them for life. And then we just leverage and work and expand our footprint and continue to do that. But I just feel like, honestly, every single piece of what I would consider to be the pieces necessary to be the IT company, we've got them. There's no question that we've got them. And in our own mindset, we've got to believe that we are that IT company and be bold enough to realize that we can be the company that everyone else is chasing. And that is, to me, that is the coolest thing. I am so grateful to be with you. I look forward to meeting you and rubbing shoulders with you and learning from you. So grateful to be part of this training experience. And most of all, I have to say that I am so thankful that last June, an individual by the name of Steve Fife had the vision and the feeling to see some potential in what me and my team, Sean Whitney, myself, and our team had created. And that I will never forget as long as I live. And so thank you very much, you guys. So look forward to being with you in the IT company.
Awesome.
Steve, I'll turn back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. You are amazing, and I can't wait for all of the LifeVantage consultants on the call to be able to meet you in Dallas in a few weeks. And likewise for everyone on the call to meet all of the Love Biome consultants and employees that will be there, and coming together. I think Kelly and I share a common view that Dallas comes, and after Dallas we are Activation Nation. We are no longer LifeVantage and Love Biome, but we are a collective team with a common vision. If you can take that slide down, I just want to share a few thoughts with you that have been on my mind, and the first one has been, why does this moment matter? We've talked, and there's been a lot of excitement, and going back to September, and we announced the signing of an agreement, and there was excitement, and then on October 1st, there was another announcement around the transaction was finalized, and more excitement, and so why is this important now? And the thought that keeps resonating in my mind is, this is a first. This is a first for LifeVantage to be part of a strategic transaction acquisition to bring two companies together. And I've been reflecting on other firsts in my life, and I'd like you to do the same. You know, I'll never forget the first time I beat my dad in golf. He was very competitive. He let me know every time he beat me, and there was a sweet victory when I finally beat him. I'll never forget the first time I saw Diana. And that was how many years ago? 59 years ago. No, 49 years ago. I saw her for the first time, and I can't say that it was love at first sight, but I'll never forget that moment when I saw her. I'll never forget my first job out and my first day of work after I graduated from college. It was in the Bay Area, and I was hired to work by Deloitte and Touche in their Oakland office. And I took BART, which is the public transit in the Bay Area, to the Oakland office my first day, and I don't know, 9 o'clock, whenever I was supposed to be there. And I went up in the elevator, and they said, "Oh, no, sorry, the training is over in San Francisco." So I had to get back on BART, and I ended up being 3 hours late to my first day of job and my first real job. And I was mortified. So not all of the firsts maybe are great examples, but I'll also never forget the first day I joined LifeVantage. I don't remember the first days of, other jobs that I've had, but I will never forget the first day of LifeVantage. And I've shared that story with some of you, and you might realize why I'll never forget it. But, I can tell you that in the 8+ years since that first day, my life, my family's life has been changed. And this is the first day that we will all collectively look back on as one of those moments that we will not forget, because it is going to change not just our lives, the 70 people on this call, but the lives of so many others as we fill the stream. And you've heard me say one of my favorite quotes is from Steve Jobs, and it's around connecting the dots. And he said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward; you can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect your future. You have to trust in something. And LifeVantage has been on a journey, for going back 16, 17 years from when it was originally founded. And I wasn't part of that, but people 17 years ago had to trust in what this would become and where we are today. And I can tell you that 3 years ago, we started a very, very conscious and specific journey to try to build off of a phenomenal foundation. And I can tell you that I and others, we did not have all of the answers, but we had a vision and what this could be. And I can look back now and see how these dots have connected and brought us to a point in time where we are today. And where we are today is a thriving, a growing, a differentiated business in this space, while so many others are struggling. and turning away or shutting down. Where we are today is in a position where when an opportunity like this marriage with Love Biome presents itself, we can take advantage of that and continue to build again upon the foundation. And we are going to continue to build and to innovate. I hope you understand the commitment that I have, our board has, our leadership has to this industry and to where we are able to go with you as partners in building a tremendous legacy. And we will continue to innovate and build. And you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, we will be able to look back and connect those dots in this journey and how we got to where we are in 5 years. But it requires trust now to believe that we are on the right path and going in the right direction. And candidly, I mean, I love the Captain's Club, and you are the captains of your ship. And you are in control of your business, your destiny, and we have this amazing partnership to help fulfill our dreams. And after what was it, Tuesday's Captain's Club meeting, I started really thinking about how do we leverage this excitement? How do we harness it? Not harness it, but how do we leverage it and transition it from excitement to action? Kelly just talked about energy, right? Kinetic energy and movement. And how do we not let this moment pass and become more than just a feel good, exciting, it's been an incredible couple of days, into real action. And so I did what a lot of people do today, and I went to ChatGPT and I said, how do you convert excitement to action? And there were 6 things that came up, and I'm going to read those to you. The first one, cast a compelling vision. Rally people around a clear, inspiring future. And listening to you all today and how your 3 things, your clear actions, that is what is going to take excitement and translate that into activity. And that's how those visions are going to be fulfilled.
I want to stop there because he kind of goes over what we had done through the week. And I want you to know, as someone that's been a part of this company for 14 years, I have never, ever felt the leadership of this company feel so together and so cohesive. And what corporate did with us in going deep on our goals and our vision, and they had breakout sessions for us. Like, we literally were like students in class, really digging deep and asking ourselves again, what is it that we want from this opportunity? And we always end these calls giving everybody a plan of action for the week. And we give you that same action this week. Make your lists. Who have you not talked to yet? And what is it? He talked about the firsts. And how did you feel on your first day when you said yes to LifeVantage? What were the visions you had for yourself? What were the visions you had for yourself? I'm not talking about the number of people you want to help. What were the visions you had for yourself? And take the time to look at that again. And while we were on here, real quickly, I asked ChatGPT, I said, tell me how synergy builds when voices are added to spreading the word of LifeVantage. And it said, when voices unite, momentum multiplies. One person sharing about LifeVantage can spark interest, but when many voices come together, synergy takes over. Each story, each testimony, each post adds a new layer of credibility and belief. It's no longer one person talking about our products. It's a community of people creating proof. Energy grows, excitement spreads, and momentum builds, and trust deepens. That's the power of synergy. Every time someone else shares their story, it adds volume to the collective voice. And together we create a wave that can't be ignored. When more people speak up about what LifeVantage has to offer, hope, health, freedom, and purpose, it becomes so much bigger than any one of us. That's how movement grows, and that's how lives change. So, you guys, tomorrow night, we know that training camp is there. Training camp will take the place tomorrow night for the whole week that was originally planned. It's at 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central. It'll be for 2 hours. You do not want to miss that. You're going to hear more about P84. You're going to hear more about P84 with Protandem. And I just want to end with this. When I was in Amway, I took my vision for my life and who I wanted to become was so big. I could taste it. I just wanted to be more. I got in a van of like 7 or 8 people and we drove 18 hours. I didn't know any of them. I just knew that they were good people. And I got in this van because of a dream and we drove to Portland, Oregon, 19 hours and never stopped. We didn't stop, get a hotel, anything. We just drove and got there. I am just telling you, with 2 weeks left, I would do, if you're not going to Dallas, pray about it, ask God to open the right doors, to find the right people, to get the carloads, and do whatever you can to be present at this event, because this is where the tide turns, the synergy raises, the momentum grows, and it is go time like never before. So if you want to continue with us, or if you want to see the habits we've been teaching, or you want to see next week, we have Sarah Smith teaching on synergy, just let us know and we will get you in. What we have is our Leaders Edge groups, and you can see all the recordings we've done on all the habits. But I'm so proud of you guys for tuning in tonight and taking the time. Love you so, so much. And Love Biome, we welcome you and just cannot wait to lock arms with you. So guys, make the most of this. Have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow night in the training camp. Love you. Goodbye.
Amazing job, Tanya. Fantastic.